You just search for the best way to measure tire tread depth. And my name is Ethan Cool, and I'm going to be shooting a video today about the best way to measure the tread on your tires. It's one of those areas that you tend to notice a lot of different information on the subject, and you're going to get a lot of information from a lot of different sources, and you don't really know which source to trust. To give you a little background on myself, I am a former employee of the one of the nation's largest tire distributors, and worked for them for about 6 years. Got a lot of great information. Saw kind of both worlds. Got to see, excuse me, the end of the being behind the scenes and selling the tires, the information that goes into that, and also the end of the customer side of things. So when it comes to tire tread depth on your car, there's a lot of factors that can come into play in terms of what's safe, what's not safe. Like I said, good information, bad information. There's some stuff out there on the web about how to measure the tread of your tire with a penny. That information is great information to have if it's the only thing you've got, if it's the only thing that you happen to have in your possession at that point in time. It is something that will work. That is, if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, then you need to replace the tread. That's kind of the way that works out. And like I said, it can work, but it's hard to measure the inside of your tire. It's hard to get a real accurate read on if the tire is wearing evenly or if it's safe to still drive on, because sometimes something in your tire can maybe be causing it to give you a false reading, that kind of thing. So one of the tools that I used to have when I worked for the company was one of these guys. And what this is this is a tire tread depth gauge. It is measured in 30 seconds of an inch. That's how you measure the tread on your tires. You can see there are 3 different colors on there. So there's red, green, and yellow. Similar to a stoplight, right? Green means go, yellow means kind of, we're not quite sure, about to turn red, and then in that red area you do want to stop. So to give you an outline, from 30 to 30 seconds, so 1 full inch of tread, down to 6/30 seconds of an inch is when the tire is in usable area. So the usable tread on the tire is from that 30 to 30 seconds down to 6/30 seconds of an inch. After that 6/30 seconds of an inch, you're going to start to notice a lot of slipping and sliding. You're going to actually notice a little longer braking distance, so the tires aren't going to react to the road as well, even on dry area. So it's an area where it doesn't just affect you in just the snow and the ice, depending on what part of the country you live in. You may not get snow and ice, you may have sunny weather all year round. So it does affect stopping distance, braking distance of your tires. It is one of those areas that, like I said, it becomes a safety concern at that point. So you're not going to notice as much safety concern when you are at 30 seconds of an inch and down into 3/30 seconds of an inch is when it does start to turn red. So at 3/30 seconds of an inch, that is where the tire is really, it needs to be replaced. That's not just me saying that from a standpoint of past being a salesman. The biggest problem is that after 3/30 seconds of an inch, you start to notice the actual construction of the tire. So the tire is actually made up of steel bands and nylon cording on the tread of the tire. Depending on what type of tire you have, there may be more steel bands and less nylon cording. It all depends on what you've got. But there is definitely steel cording in the tread pack of your tire. And after 3/30 seconds of an inch, you're going to start to notice serious loss in traction in the snow and the ice, serious loss in traction on dry roads. Even small amounts of rain can cause your car to hydroplane, which is a very scary situation. So it is one of those things that you do definitely need to replace the tires, because once that construction of the tire starts to come through on it, the problem is that it can actually grab portions of the road and actually pull the tread of your tire off of the carcass. So it is very dangerous. It can cause blowouts. It can cause accidents, things like that. So it's definitely one of those things that needs to be addressed at that point at 3/30 seconds of an inch. Now these guys you can pick up at your local auto parts store. I think I was in there last week. I think they're under $5 or $6, something safe to keep in your car if you're going on a road trip. You maybe just got told by the guy at the tire store, the gal at the tire store, that you need to replace the tires on your car. There's a lot of scenarios there of where you could be being told that the tires need to be replaced, or they're on their way out, or by next season you're not going to need to replace them. I don't know what your situation is, and I don't know exactly what brought you to this video, but in the scenario that you are being told by the tire shop that you need to replace your tires, it is best to have one of these guys in your car. All you do is just basically depress this down on the tread of the tire, from inside or excuse me, from the outside of the tire to the inside of the tire. just keeping an eye on what it's at. Sink it down into the tire, pull it out, measure it, see if your tires are wearing evenly, because not only can you measuring the tread of your tires affect the safety of your vehicle from the standpoint of traction, it can also be in an area where maybe you have something mechanical going on with the car, some other bigger issue of not just the tires. But it's good to know that for you up front, instead of the guy at the mechanic shop or the tire shop trying to tell you that this is what's wrong with it. It's best to have you know that information before going in, because you go in there with no information and they will take advantage of you. It's an unfortunate part of the world, but it happens more times than I would like to admit. So it's something to definitely have this information for yourself. Like I said, you can swing down to the auto parts store and pick one of these guys up real cheap, real easy to use. Now, as I brought up before, I am a past employee of one of the world's largest tire distributors. And the reason why I bring that up, because you may be in an area where you're being told that you need to put tires in your car, or maybe you were planning on taking a vacation this summer and you don't know if you're going to be able to do it because of the tire purchase, something like that, because for certain cars, tires can be upwards of $1,000, depending on what type of vehicle you have. So if you are looking for an area where, maybe the tire purchase is scaring you a little bit, it's kind of like going to the dentist, you're spending a bunch of money and you kind of don't want to go there, but it's something that needs to be done. So if that's the area you happen to be in, or you're maybe just kind of looking for a way to pad your pocketbook a little bit, and really in a non-salesy way, I was sitting here, thinking about maybe best ways to kind of talk about tire tread, because I know in Colorado where I live, we've had a lot of bills and things like that are being brought to the legislature about changing, what's allowed and what's not allowed, and what's going to force people to buy tires when they don't want to buy them and things like that. So, if you are in an area where you're thinking about purchasing tires, or you're trying to, kind of come to grips, or, come to terms with purchasing tires, the video you're watching right now is a video that is being put on by a group of gentlemen, a group of experts that I've been working with to market my at-home business. Like I said, it may not be something for you, and it may not be anything that you're even remotely looking for. And I'm not trying to be spammy or salesy to anybody, but I just thought it might be a relevant area for people to have a way to pad their pocketbook a little bit. And if that's something that would interest you, visit my website. It's workwithethan.net. That's where you can go, and it'll redirect you to a video that'll give you a little more information on what I do on a daily basis. And like I said, if that's something that does interest you, please visit my web link at www.workwithethan.net. Thanks.